Hello, Kate. How are you?
Hello, Tina. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. So, I introduced Kate Michels here today so that I could introduce her to everyone who will be attending the Empower You Expo May 2nd, 2020. Kate Michels is the CEO of Emotional Wisdom Training Institute, founder of Core Alignment Coaching, being in her 50s, and she has more than 30 years experience. She's extremely active in the self-help movement, and this woman is truly committed to personal development. She is a radio host, a best-selling author, a motivational speaker, and an internationally recognized coach of coaches. As a mastery level coach trainer and neuro-linguistic practitioner, she is an expert at assisting others to align in their truth. So, Kate, your workshop title is Emotional Wisdom Training, and your business is Emotional Wisdom Training. Talk to us a little bit more about yourself, and since you've been in the industry for 30 years, talk to us a little bit about what got you into the self-help movement and what you will be sharing with us at the expo.
Okay, so that's a lot to tell you about. So as is noted, I have been doing this work for more than 30 years, which means I started as soon as I got out of high school. In high school, Elvis Presley was pronounced dead over the radio. And as soon as I heard that, and they said that he didn't know whether he had died from a drug overdose or whether it was a health condition that had been aggravated, but he was alone in a hotel room. And at that moment, I knew that I wanted to do something around changing the way that people believe. Because how could someone like Elvis Presley, who was the king of rock and roll, so well loved, be all alone when he died and possibly died of a drug overdose?
That's
And
just
so I've
such a
been
sad
doing,
story.
I know.
It's
Like,
a
so I've been doing this work ever since, pursuing it in all realms of psychology, sociology, humanitarianism, spirituality, and just recently adding the whole practice of neuro-linguistic practitioners, which is new to the world, just like life coaching is new to the world. I was introduced to life coaching in January 2000, so that was 20 years ago. And the minute I was introduced to coaching, I said, this is the wave of the future. This is not a trend, as many people were thinking, and it wasn't something popular that was going to just fade. I knew that it was going to be around for the long haul, and here it is 20 years later, and now it's being taught in the universities. Almost every business has it. In January 2000, when I looked up coaching on Yahoo, all you could find was sports coaches and the football coaches and what had happened over the weekend with this coach or that coach. Today, there are more than thousands of daily posts about coaches.
So 30 years is a really long time. I can't remember when coaching started.
Well, I haven't been in the coaching world for 30 years. I'm in the coaching world for 20 years. Coaching did start in the 1990s.
Okay.
And so it is now getting to the 30-year mark.
Okay.
Life coaching, right? And I was doing psychology and I burned out on it. I was doing self-help groups, motivational groups. And then I was introduced to the whole coaching concept. And there's no burnout now. Because when you stand in coach position, you're recognizing people's wholeness and wellness and completeness and resourcefulness.
And you're absolutely speaking to one of my core values, Kate. I totally believe that people are whole and well. They just need tools to help themselves shift and see that true wholeness and wellness. Instead of the view of looking at people as wrong and bad and broken, People just need skills to be able to shift their emotions into the state that they want to be in. That's my view. So
Right.
I'm super excited to have you as a workshop presenter.
And that's why it's called emotional wisdom training,
Yeah,
right? Because we are emotional beings and we have emotions. And I'll take this back to Elvis Presley. He had emotions, and from those emotions, he created beliefs. And those beliefs were actually contradictory to the evidence and the reality. So many of us are doing the same thing. We have these beliefs that we're living by that are contradictory to the evidence about us and even the reality that surrounds us. And that's what emotional wisdom training is for. And this workshop is all around people recognizing what they're feeling, thinking, and believing from the events, incidents, and accidents, and how they can actually choose to change their emotional reaction to respond more wisely. Because we're actually choosing our emotions.
I like how you put that. Events, say those three words again.
Events, incidents, and accidents are occurring.
So, because I was just having this discussion with a client this morning, events, accidents occur, they happen out here, and then we have a reaction in here, and it usually causes upset in our world, right?
Right.
And then what do you do with all those emotions? Well, I can try and change the circumstances out here, and I can stop the accident from happening. But really, can we? Accidents are accidents, they just happen. So you're actually going to teach us how we can manage our emotions from the inside out. Is that what I'm hearing you say?
Yes. Because you're going through life, you're having events. Events are everything from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed. You then have special events, a lunch date, a wedding, Valentine's Day. It's special events. And then you have an incident, something that happened that you didn't plan on, that you could have prevented, or an accident, something that happened that you were not expecting, that you could not have prevented. No matter what, you're deciding what you're going to do. And most people are just reacting from their gut, right? They're just doing a automatic reaction from their past. With this training, you're checking in and responding from the present. What's reality? What matters now? What is it I really want?
Mhm.
Is this an incident? Is this an accident? What is my course of action? So that you're being responsible. You're responding because you're being responsible.
Oh, fantastic. This sounds like a really exciting workshop and very valuable for guests. They will learn tools that they can take home with them that day and use the next day.
Yes, and there are also, many people are familiar with the term neuro-linguistic programming.
Mhm.
So we're going to make that very, very simple, and we're going to show how everybody is using neuro-linguistic programming and give them some neuro-linguistic practices that they can take with them that will support them in their daily living, and will also be able to support them with anybody that they may work with. Because when you know how to listen and hear where someone's coming from, including yourself, you know how to choose what direction to go. And that's what this is all about.
Interesting. A concept of choosing to listen to yourself. Like we oftentimes we look to our answer, we look to the outside of us or to other people to find the answers instead of listening inside of ourselves. So you're going to teach us how to help how to listen better to others and how to listen better to ourselves. Is that right?
Yes.
Cool. I'm super excited. So if someone is watching this video either way before the expo, which is May 2nd, 2020, or after the expo, how can they find you? First of all, tell us how they find your radio show.
Okay, well, my radio show is Emotionalism Training, and it's brought to you by W4CY Radio. And you can find it by turning into W4CYradio.com. You can also hear the recorded radio show on Spotify, iHeart, or Pandora. by looking up emotional wisdom training in the top sections. You
Fan-
can find me easily at Emotional Wisdom Training Institute, and there's information there on core alignment. So we talked a little bit about core alignment. We'll talk a little bit more about that at the workshop, which is recognizing that we are conscious body where our feelings come from, subconscious mind where our thoughts come from, and unconscious heart where our beliefs and values come from. And alignment is choosing to have all of those agree and work together. So go to emotionalismtraininginstitute.com. You'll find core alignment coaching information there. Or you can always find me at katemichels.com. And I'm on Facebook with Emotional Wisdom Training Institute and all those other fun places where people look.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us here today and tell us more about what your workshop will be about. So guests, remember, you'll want to go get your tickets on empoweryouexpo.com, and we will all see you there at the expo. And I always like to say, keep on being awesome.
May 2nd, 2020.
Yes. See you there.
Okay.